way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. And today we're going to take a little trip in greater depth on astrology with Ryan. Let me bring him on. Welcome, Ryan.
Hi, Gail. Happy
How
day.
you doing?
Happy day. Here we are again.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go.
Okay, well, I would like to encourage any listeners out there who are catching the film to feel free to ask questions. We'll be looking for questions from the audience concerning the different astrological signs. We might touch on that, characteristics, and any future dates that you see that are of great significance from an astrological perspective or an alignment of the planets or whatever it is. Now, you have said in the past that the Western astrology as we know it is off, which means that they lied to us about it. So why don't we delve into that a little bit? We can summarize kind of what went on in the last show and see where we go from there.
Yeah, so what we call like Western astrology, tropical astrology, is based on the zodiac, all the signs, the zodiac wheel, of course. So just so that more and more people start to think about this and like comprehend it as to what is being said, why is it a lie, or are we just not understanding the zodiac and the sky and the planets and how they move and how they interact? And I mean, the whole thing, it's like finally understanding the system that we live in, because we pretty much live in it every single day. So yes, the every few hundred years, I would suppose, or thousands of years, zodiac wheels are created based on that current age or that time or that constellation, because we're going through all 12 constellations, and it takes 26,000 years for the sun to travel around the zodiac wheel. So everything has its own track and its own time. There's, we have all the planets going around at their own rates, at their own speed, but the sun does its thing. And every day this wheel is moving around us. Say we're in the center. Another thing is I think it's a heliocentric system that they've taught
what does that
to
mean
us.
exactly?
Well, it's where the sun is in the middle. The sun is billions of miles away and it's huge, and everything's rotating around the sun. So that's another thing to
well, you know what I was thinking?
demystify.
I don't know if it comes into at all or whatever, but they change everything. Okay, so my guess is that they have somehow changed the astrological stuff to some extent. Because, for example, the Julian calendar versus the Gregorian calendar, we used to have 13 months and 28 days, and everything was all evenly lined up. It makes me wonder if 12, what if it was supposed to be 13?
I don't really subscribe to that. There's solar ages and then there's lunar ages. So they're going to go more by the moon if we're in a feminine or a lunar age, which would be an earth sign,
Well,
or a water sign. So there's kind of like, it goes back and forth. So it'd kind of go to 12 and then we could use 13, and that would be a different, it would kind of go back and forth. So I think we're going towards more of a solar age, which is going to be the age of Aquarius, because you have Leo on the bottom of the cross, you have Aquarius on the top, and then you have Taurus and Scorpio. So that's the sun in Leo. It's going to be Saturn at the top of the fixed cross, who rules Aquarius. And then we're going to have Venus and then Mars. For the next age, those planets with the sun are going to be the main sort of planets and powers, and that.
are there characteristics to those planets that impact the age that we're in?
Absolutely.
That's
So
good.
that's super important, because to know where we are right now and what planets are in play right now, and it's important to be in the now with all of this stuff, and to be able to look up there and read the sky, and with what we have now, we can look at the sky in real time. So someone handed me an app the other day on their phone of the zodiac and the planets, and it was accurate, but it wasn't stellarium. So you can get a phone app, a zodiac app. You can just point your phone up there, or maybe you can just look around on the app, but it's putting things in real time now. So right now,
I haven't had a chance to look at that yet. That's interesting.
Excuse me.
Let me. Jay Thought just has a question here. What about the sign that they added in almost 2013-ish? I think it was Aphili.
Okay, it's a Ophiuchus. It's the upper house of Scorpio. They want to add it in. Who wants to add it in? I've heard it goes back to like the Vatican. So they know all about the zodiac, astrology. They have telescopes. They know what age we're in. The reason the Vatican has the control they do for however long they do is because we're in the age of Pisces right now. And how do you tell what age we're in? On the spring equinox at noon, it doesn't matter really what time of day it is, because it's not going to change, but where the sun is and what constellation. So nobody knows that, and we're in like a shift. We're in like a cusp, but we're still in that Piscean age.
So
and
the
it's
Aquarian
like
age hasn't actually started yet, right?
Well, no, but everybody wants it. Everyone's talking about it. We don't fully know. It's that completion of the whole journey back to the top, which is Aquarius, which is the fixed cross. So it's the stable cross. It's the crown chakra. And then we'd have Venus, which is the heart chakra. And then we're going to have the sun, which is that solar plexus, but it's fixed fire, fixed earth. We're going to have fixed water with Mars and Scorpio. That's the water part of the fixed cross. So eventually it's all going to line up on the spring equinox. It's going to be a few hundred years from now when we actually get back onto the fixed cross of Aquarius and all those other signs. So there's a whole new age deception. There's a timeline deception. There are the Lucius Trust, the Blavatskys, all of these people have started to create this whole false new age, false light, Luciferian paradigm towards the end of our journey, in which we may have all been here the entire time, reincarnating over and over and over. We remember the beginning when we came into this universe, it's one verse. It's going to travel around back to the beginning, the sun, and all these planets are part of it. They're different parts of us. They're different chakras, but there's so much disinformation out there that you can start looking into this, and you're going to find disinfo. So,
well, it's just like Jay Thought mentioned. Why is it not mentioned anymore? That 13th thing we were talking. Oh, I can't pronounce it, so I can't say it. Anyway, the one thing too, just to mention while we're kind of on how they change everything, the calendars, according to the Julian calendar, the first of January, so to speak, would be like the 15th of January, not the January 1st. So it's 14
right.
days ahead.
I think it's 13. I mean, that's another
it could
thing.
be. It could
That's
be
another thing they've done with the 13. Sorry, I got a little throat issue, but yeah, it's just another thing they've done with the 13. Sort of changed the calendar up, and they did those Gregorian chants. So they sort of shifted us there, and I've looked into that a lot. But it's something I'd have to look into again to really think about. But it's 12 zodiacs. It's perfect the way it is. If you add another, you don't just add another constellation. I know there's all kinds of articles and people saying that they took it away and all this. To me, it's just bogus. It's every constellation sign has an upper house and a lower house. There's 88 constellations. We're just going through 12. What does it matter if there's another Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer?
Is that what that stands for?
It's in the myths, it's in the myths and the Greek myths. And I'm not sure if he's like Hercules, but that's where some of these stories come from, these different constellations. And, there's a lot of zodiacs out there. We're just trying to understand this one and our chakra system and the planets. There's so much disinformation about the planets. So
Are the planets living beings?
Well, their frequencies and vibrations, you could say they're from different worlds, but I don't look up at this sky dome display and see. I mean, there are probably entities like operating some of these things, but it's not like you fly a rocket into space and then you're on a planet out there. I don't see that anymore. The way NASA has recreated space and the planets, and again, back to the solar system, they call it a solar system because they teach you that we're all moving around a big sun, and a lot of them worship the sun. So you have your your Masonic solar worship, or they worship the moon, and that's like, you have to understand the chakras. It's all underworld. You have the sun, the moon, and then you have Jupiter and Mars, all as your lower chakras, like the lower kingdom. So every time we enter an age where those planets are in power, like the age before Pisces was the age of Aries. So that was a fire god. That was a lot of biblical stuff happened during that time. A lot of wars happened. It took place in Persia, which is now like Iran and the whole kind of Middle East. But it's starting to kind of decode our reality and see things as to why they are the way they are. We're just trying to put the pieces together. It's a big puzzle.
Yeah, and we get disinformation with good information, and we have to sort through what makes sense and what doesn't, and it can be challenging at times. Someone, Jay, the question, why does zodiac and time run in 12s, but measurements are in 10s? Good question. Why do they do that?
Just something about the 12, the pattern,
just like 12 disciples, 12.
There's one in the middle, that's just another thing that I don't know what measurements are in 10 exactly, because it's like a foot.
Oh,
How
the
big?
decimals, the Dewey Decimal System versus our regular 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch instead of centimeters and millimeters. I think that's probably what she means by 10.
Yeah, it's like a foot. A foot is 12 inches. 12 times 12 is 144. But there's the creator's design and everything, and then there's a manipulation. And we're going through, just so many.
Is there something about the planetary alignments that will make the truth come out more, or something on that order, or that makes that more likely to happen?
All the time. So I don't know of any like significant dates coming up or anything, but right now the truth is coming out as we're speaking. We're definitely in Sagittarius right now. So a lot of people would say we're in Capricorn because that's what the old zodiac said a long time ago, back when the sun was in Capricorn, which was a really long time ago. But so anyway, I mean, I think the first thing people need to do is make sure you know what sign you are, make sure you know what cross you carry. That's not just some guy dragging a cross around. They're telling you about the stars and the
Oh,
heavens
that's
and the
interesting.
signs and the zodiac and the cross and the man on the cross and the thieves on the side. And, it's symbolic. People have taken it so literally and made films about it. And you can't really interpret it because it's an alchemical language. It's symbolic. Words have lots of different meanings. And it was designed that way so that we could understand what they were saying way back then, the astrologers that were looking at the skies and looking for the signs. They're telling us about the future. They're telling us about the new cross in the heavens, that someone gets to rule the planet for so long. And it's happened this whole entire journey. We had like the age of Egypt before the age of Aries, and that was back on the fixed cross, and that was ruled by Venus, which I think is connected to like Ishtar and the goddesses or whatever. But yeah, we've just been through this whole zodiac wheel, and I feel if you want to know who you are as far as this reality and experience we're having, and it's kind of like your soul, I feel, is more imprinted with the correct constellation. It's not going to resonate with the tropical zodiac. So you get on Stellarium and type in your birth date and see what you see, see what it
Do you
says.
have that page available that you could share?
Absolutely.
I was going to say, Laura was saying there were 13 disciples, and it's in the book of Acts. So I wasn't aware of that one. But
yeah, well, what did was it Judas? I mean,
so
one
Judas
of them
got a
went
replacement. Yeah, that was supposedly Judas, but now I heard that was a lie too. So who knows? We're still waiting to find out the truth on everything.
It's just like, to me, it's just like the 13th zodiac sign.
Yeah.
Are you getting that screen share?
Yeah. Oh, it just went away. What happened to it?
Okay, here we go.
It was there, and then it went away. Here we go. Okay. There we go.
Yep. So just back to Stellarium. This is today. This is with the sun off. We'll turn the sun on. That's not where I am, but it's giving the direction. So you got east, and over here where the sun is, turn the constellations on, and you can turn the names. You got this whole, you don't have to worry about the grids and stuff. It gets really complicated, but you got the dates in the corner. So it's January 5th, 24. Up here
Well,
we got, yeah, go ahead.
Well, is this where I remember you said that my birthday, because I was born on the cusp, and between August and September, not being sure what I was, and you had indicated, was that through the stellarium that I'd actually be a Leo?
Well, it's stellarium. It's real time.
Or is
It's
it?
sidereal time. A lot of people look up their Vedic astrology, which is like in the
Mhm.
East.
Yeah.
Their zodiac wheel isn't exactly correct, but they're going to tell you that you're a Leo if you're born on that day because they use correct real time. There's
Oh,
there's 1,000,000,000 astrologers out there that don't use real time, and it's really frustrating. And I talk to them almost every day, and just friends, and they're so invested in their sign because they've been told all this stuff. But when you bring up, like, have you heard of where the sun is now? The sun has moved positions, and on that day you would have been a different sign like 1,000 years ago, but not today. And there you get really attached to it. And I sort of had to go through my own process of realizing, yes, we've been lied to, and we have the tools right now. You can see real time. So to me, August 23rd, very
yeah.
Leo. It's a fire sign. It's a fixed sign. It's solid. It's like solid fire. So there's 3 fire signs, 3 water signs, 3 air signs, 3 earth signs. That's the solid form of fire. So it's like the sun. The sun is constant. The sun is always shining somewhere. It's always moving. It's always there. Then you have like Sagittarius, you have the liquid fire, which is the mutable. It's the mutable cross. So it's like liquid. It's changeable, adaptable. And then you have Aries, which is like the gas, like the gaseous form of fire, like the explosion. So it's cardinal. So you have cardinal, fixed, mutable of all the different elements. So,
What does mutable mean? Does that mean it's changeable?
changeable, adaptable. It's more like liquid. You don't get stuck in routines like every day. Like different signs have different ways of living their lives. Some are very.
So we are affected by our astrological signs then, from what you're saying, because it certainly is indicative of characteristics that we may have.
Absolutely. So a lot of people are really invested into Western zodiac because of what they've been told, what they paid for something or paid an astrologer or whatever. And this isn't really about telling your future as much as you could look at different things in the future, but like your Saturn return is every 30 years. You're going to have another one at age 60, and then you see where all the planets are. So it's not saying you're going to have a relationship at this time and, oh, you have a bunch of money coming through at this time. It's not even like that. They've had to add all that stuff in because it just doesn't really make sense. So now we kind of have these like visual tools to take a look and say, where did stellarium come from? It's the observatories bringing us this real-time view, and it's like observatories around the world. So it's like I think it's like a collective thing, but
It's kind of interesting, the names of some of the telescopes that they have. I think there's one that's that the Vatican has that I don't know if it's called Satan
Lucifer, yeah, they call it Lucifer.
Lucifer, yeah. I know they're different entities, but neither one of them are good from what I understand. Anyway.
Well, Lucifer has to do with Libra. And there was a time
really?
there was a time when we lived in the age of Libra. And then it fell because, I don't know, they watch the skies and then they write all these books and stuff and they describe him falling from the heavens.
Is that a
It's
fall in consciousness, or is that a physical falling
it
down?
could be. I mean, it could be. It could be, but you know, there's a lot of like vanity and stuff that happened during that age. Like it's still kind of heart chakra, but it's really interesting to think about the different ages of the zodiac and where those locations were on Earth. Right now, being Pisces, it's still all about Europe. So from the crown to the Vatican, they have this Jupiterian power, and it's feminine energy. It's a water energy. That's why we have admiralty law and maritime law and religion, and it's a lower chakra, and it's supposed to be about, you know, about healing and stuff, but they're putting all these deceptions out and stuff towards the end. But yeah, different locations are where these zodiacs have had the power on the Earth, if that makes sense.
Oh, I wanted to ask you this. I'm asking this for a friend, someone that I know who was born on October 31st, Halloween, and is convinced they are a Scorpio. Now, you would say that they're not a Scorpio.
Well, I'll show you.
Is that
So
true?
we'll go to Halloween, and a lot of these dates are lined up exactly with sidereal time, correct time. So the occultists, either they know what they're doing or they don't, but Halloween's the first day of Libra. And they say it, and that's an air sign, that's a masculine air sign. That's when the veil's the thinnest, supposedly. And also the sun is debilitated here, but it's only 23 days. So the constellations are all different sizes. But the sun is the weakest of all the signs when it's in Libra. So I think there's kind of like a celebration for that. It's really interesting.
Wow.
So I would say they're a Libra, but they're on the cusp of Virgo. They're right in between Virgo and Libra on Halloween.
Wow, that's totally different from our usual Western astrology.
Absolutely. Right? I would scrap it all, except what you've learned about, you know, Capricorn's an earth sign, you know, it's in winter, you know, it's about business, blah, blah, blah. You might know its compatibilities. Everything you've studied about the signs is correct, but we haven't even known ourselves yet. So you start with you. And it's not just about the sun. It's about all the planets. It's about your birth date, your location, also your rising sign.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the whole thing to start when you were born, and then get to know the planets, the chakras, where they were, what it means. And then there's a Saturn goes around, takes 30 years, and then you look at everything again. And you can type in the dates on Stellarium so we can jump 30 years ahead and see where the planets are and see kind of what you're dealing with. Yeah, we got to start with us, get on the right cross, see where you are.
Okay, so you might not be the sign that you think you are, but yet the characteristics of the signs in terms of personality and things of that nature is actually true. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. The chakras are really important to know. So let me bring up chakra guy here real quick.
Okay, I'll take Stellarium down.
Yep.
But just know, everyone, that you can look that up, that Stellarium. You can look that up yourself, and check it out.
Okay, where'd he go? Just want to share the right page here.
That's okay. Someone mentioned Halloween is a celebration of a weekend sun? Question mark.
A week. I mean, I think so. I've never heard anyone else say that, but I've looked at it. I'm like, why is Halloween the first day of Libra? Like, well, the sun's debilitated. Like we said before, Libra does have to do with, you know, I don't even know how evil or whatever these entities are and what the fall really means, because there's different interpretations of it. But we started in Aquarius, and that's a masculine air sign. That's the crown chakra. That's where the creation story began, where this whole entire journey of this universe began. By the time we got to Libra, which is, it's still the heart chakra, not the crown, but it's Venus, and there's a masculine and there's a feminine aspect of it. I think the people started following this as God or as the creator. Like every single age we go through, different things happen. We can't say it was all like religious, because that's more like the Jupiterian, Piscean energy. It's not the entire, zodiac wheel. Some ages were about war. So it wasn't all this idol worship and stuff, but they sort of have tried to take over the creation, these different entities along the way. So we're trying to get back to the original creator, which it's going to complete itself anyway, but we don't want to get, tricked before the end. But they've been working on us really hard. So
someone asked about March 22nd. Do you know anything about any significance about?
What do you
March
mean,
22nd?
like this year or every year it comes around 322?
Let's see. Somebody asked.
Might be a little more numerology there, because it's an occult,
yeah, maybe that's what it is.
occult number.
I was just trying to find.
So yeah.
Anyway,
March,
that was a question
like
that was
the
asked.
zodiac.
So I don't know.
Well, that's the spring equinox, pretty much. So.
Well, I just before we came on, and I didn't get a chance to read it in any depth, but I was looking at this one astrology sign, and let me bring this up for us. And anyway, what it said is Wisconsin is ground zero in the spring, and I'm going, what the heck does that mean? I didn't get a chance to look at it, but it was.
What did it say again?
It said Wisconsin is ground zero. And I couldn't figure out what that possibly meant. But anyway,
I don't know.
Just keep moving. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I just saw it, like the headline. I didn't get to read it or watch the video, so I might have to look into that. There we go. That's good.
So here's the chakra system. You can look up planets in the chakra system. You're going to get a whole bunch of disinformation, especially on Google. And some people might think they know. I don't know. I might have been given the right info. I feel like it resonates. It makes the whole thing come together and make sense. So you see the red chakra at the bottom, and this is like our light spectrum that we live in. So it goes from red to purple. If you look up the frequency band that we're in this system, which is a lot of it's based on 7 days of the week. Here we have Mars at the bottom. It's our root chakra. It's why it's so impulsive. When it's in Aries, it's masculine, and it's fire, and it's war. It's warlike. It's a warrior. It's a badass. And they do sacrifices to these gods. Okay, so it's not good, but that's why they did fire sacrifice to Moloch and stuff. That was that's related to the age before Pisces. And they've carried these traditions through. They still do this stuff, but the root chakra on the other side is Scorpio, and it's feminine. And that's why it's all about sexuality and blah, blah, blah.
I think that's why people like to identify with Scorpio, because they like the idea of being.
They blame it.
sexy.
Even if they're not Scorpio, they still blame it on Scorpio. But they're sort of like, especially when you start to really apply this and you realize we're in the season of Scorpio, like, you know, when we are in the season, you'll see what it's like because you feel it inside of you. It's on the fixed cross. Scorpio's on the fixed cross. That's when Mars it's in a different state. And we're going to be on the fixed cross in the future. Mars is going to be there, but it's exalted because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. And Capricorn and Aquarius are ruled by the same planet. So this might sound different to some people because they've been told different, but we're trying to look ahead at what planets are going to be playing a role in the next age. So right now we have Jupiter and Mercury and Mars also, but that's kind of another story. So we have Mars, feminine, masculine. We got the next chakra. It's Jupiter. It's like your belly chakra. It's Sagittarius, fire on one side. It's Pisces, water, feminine on the other. The main thing about that one is desire and empire. So that's that orange chakra in the middle. If they try to use orange colors and they're trying to stimulate your desire. If they use red, they're trying to stimulate sexuality, you know. Red has different, you know, multiple meanings. So it's
It is associated with sex, though.
of course. And this is why.
You drive a red car.
Yeah,
that's what people
exactly. I mean, you start to see reality in like what these colors mean and what the elements mean and different parts of us. The next one they have is yellow. It's the solar plexus. It's actually the sun and the moon. So it's the age of Leo or it's the age of Cancer. And they're, you know, right next to each other. And so there's kind of two chakras there. So that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the green one would be the heart chakra. It's going to be the 5th chakra, which is Venus, connected to the age of Taurus. It's feminine in Taurus. It's cardinal air in Libra. So that's the masculine heart chakra, the feminine heart chakra of Venus.
Oh, okay.
The next one up is Mercury. And throat chakra, Buddha, the age of Gemini, where it was masculine. That took place in India and probably some places in South America because there's India in different places, or Indians. Excuse me. And then it's the age of Virgo for the other side of Mercury. So that one's mutable. The throat chakra is always mutable because it's Virgo, mutable earth, or it's Gemini, mutable air. There's a lot more to learn about this stuff, by the way. It's just, I'm trying to buzz through it. Saturn is the crown chakra. It's the age of Aquarius and Capricorn. They're right next to each other. And it's going to be a really long age after this Piscean age and the lower 2nd chakra. We're going to go all the way up to the crown. And it's going to be 2 ages combined. So there's like biblical passages about this, but who can interpret it, you know? Some people can, luckily. It's an age without end. It goes from Aquarius into Capricorn. So it's going to be heaven on earth. Heaven is like air or Aquarius. And then earth is Capricorn. So it's heaven on earth. And then who knows? I don't know if we're going to go to a different zodiac or what, but they've been trying to tell us all about this all along. We need to know our symbols, our alchemy symbols, our planets, our chakras, the colors, the masculine, feminine, how it all fits together. There's no 13th anything as far as I'm concerned. I was part of a 13 club, if you want to say that, but.
Oh, really? And you decided it wasn't what you thought it was initially?
Oh, it was like all the religions put together. And it was on the negative timeline. It was kind of a cult, and it was on the internet, but I don't even want to tell you about it because I don't want people to go looking into it. But 13 I mean, I've had people say 13 is an abomination. It's part of the Fibonacci sequence, which is a metatronic pattern. So creation has different patterns, different creations do. And the two that I know of are the crystal spiral with a K, and it always has a center point. Then there's the metatronics, which devour as they create. So the numbers have to keep devouring themselves. So it's like this whole devouring system. And you see meta everywhere. Meta, they call Facebook meta.
Meta, yeah.
Metaphysics, the flower of life, they call it the bloom of doom because it devours. It's not an organic.
So what you're saying too, I want to point this out because we talked about this one time, is that the flower of life that everybody thinks is the flower of life is not the flower of life.
Well, I mean, they can call it whatever they want, but it's not a sacred geometric pattern.
That's what yeah.
It's everywhere. We see it everywhere we go, Gail. We run around town and see this flower of life, and people, I've seen people have it tattooed on them. Do you want me to bring up an image of that?
If you got one, yeah.
Yeah, so whatever they want to call it. Okay, I've got it right here. And this is next level. Astrology isn't everything, but I want people to overstand this whole thing, and then experience your reality in real time with it. And you still have your own experience, but you get to know people all over again. And like you said, the different characteristics of the signs, like they stand out like you would never believe. And people still think they're still attached to their old zodiac, and I get it, but it's not based on facts. It's based on belief. It's based on disinformation and belief systems. So we have to get in the facts, and that's going to be the future. And learning about astrology is going to be a big thing. So I think I have a image here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, let me put that up.
Yep.
The flower of death.
Flower of death, bloom of doom, Metatronic. That's a high level. I mean, some people are saying that's like the highest angel. This consciousness fell, and there's a lot of entities connected to it. And I think probably artificial intelligences and stuff like that, but they're trying to grid and code our reality. You have businesses putting these symbols up. It's really important. Like, symbols control a lot of things. So you kind of want to know what you're looking at, and all of the secret societies and your little private clubs, they study this stuff so they can control us. And anyway, it's just,
and they get put out disinformation for us to read, so we are confused and misled or misdirected about what is what, and left holding the bag, so to speak. But the crystal lotus flower of life is universal, eternal consciousness.
excuse me,
which is open source. And the flower of death that they keep posting everywhere, people don't realize. They think it's the flower of life. That's how they've deceived us. They invert everything.
So I just counted the leaves on the crystal lotus, and there's 12. So, and it has a center, it always has a center point. So think of like multiverses and universes, and you know, we're inside of something that it's so small, but it's so important, you know. I forget what I was going to say else on that. If you had something.
Okay, let me see. There's a question here. Is there star energy, physical, non-physical, to harvest?
Star energy to harvest. I don't know what that means exactly.
I don't either, so I can't.
I mean,
help you out there.
I feel like the next thing or questions to be asking are like, how does this zodiac work? How do these elements work through the sky, through the sun? I think the sun is like a transformer of these frequencies as it moves through the constellations, and they're connected to different parts of us. And there's like 7 parts of us, you know, and it really comes together at the crown, but we're trying to light these things up and
Shine our lights.
shine our light, make our aura bigger. But we keep getting crammed down into our lower chakras. Like our whole reality is there to stimulate. I mean, look at the world. Like the whole thing has been lower chakra.
Yeah. Well,
Every-
silent weapons, silent war. One of the things that's going on is there are frequencies that are certainly bombarding us and the planet with, and that affects us
And they're attacking this third eye, you know,
big time.
and
Yeah,
they don't want our voice to be heard. And then they don't want us to know the true spirit of the creator of, you know, that consciousness. So religion's down here, belief systems are down here, physical desire and greed, and it's all lower chakra. So we have
and
to
that's
kind
what
of
they've stimulated on this in this realm.
100%. Let's see, I got a few other images we can just look at.
Oh, good. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Frequency, energy, and vibration, and 369. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, if people have other questions, like, do my best. But you really want to download Stellarium. If you really feel drawn to this information, you're just going to keep learning more and more and more. So Lavette's channel on YouTube it's like a university for this. Her name's Lavette. And it's worth it. It's worth it to jump into the information. And
do you have that that website open by any chance? Because we can share it.
like her channel, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't. I can.
Okay.
It's just Lavette. It's the only channel on YouTube called that. But
Levitt.
okay, so there's another question on there.
Which one is it? Oh, that's a different one. Well, here's one statement, I guess. I've heard that every 10 years our zodiac sign moves forward 1. Do you know anything about that?
I would say no to that. Every 10 years, there's 360 degrees on the wheel, right? For the sun to move 1 degree, it takes 72 years. So times that by 360, that's how long it's taken to go around. There's 12 signs. They're roughly 25 to 30 degrees each piece. So the sun isn't going to move much in 10 years. And it all depends on where the sun is on that date. So when you were born, the sun was pretty much in the same spot as it is now on your birthday. So that just isn't.
What other question did you see? I don't see it.
Oh no, that was the one. That was the one. I guess you had it already put up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Well,
do you see the zodiac wheel on there?
oh yeah, I do. Okay.
So it says, you know, kind of the upper left where it says Aquarius would be where we started this whole journey. It's just gone around and around and around and around. Actually, that's actually not a good chart to use. Sorry. It was backwards, but
Okay. I was looking for, but I'm not finding it at the moment. I was
so
looking. I had a chart done once that, you know, it's kind of one of those computerized thing. I was going to try to bring it up, but I'm not sure where it is right now.
I think we could run through the zodiac wheel and then people can write down these dates as to when we're in those signs. If you'd like to do that.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed it. Would you say?
So we'll get the new dates for the
Oh, okay.
constellations.
Yeah, that would be
So
great.
you know, because like I don't want someone to tell me what their sign is anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know what date it is, and that's it. You know, what date were you born? Then I already have the
Oh, you got to memorize the different
dates in my head. Yeah.
So you got a chart that shows the different dates?
Not yet,
Oh,
but we can just look at stellarium, and if you get a pen and paper, if you want, you can write them down. So you seeing that okay?
yeah.
Got some really cool planetary alignments, it looks like this year. I'm kind of up in February. But we'll start with Aquarius. And it's February 16th. Yeah, February 16th is the first day of Aquarius. And that's going to go through 3/11. It's the last day of Aquarius. There is a band called 311, you know. It's 33 when you times it, 3 times 11. So the first day of Pisces would be March 12th. And it's a bigger constellation. So we're in Pisces from March 12th to April 18th. So then we hit Aries. Aries is April 19th. And yes, the occultists and Satanists, they celebrate some of these days. So you'll start to see that. And Aries, yeah, lower root chakra, fire sign, Ahura Mazda, fire worship, whatever, lower chakra worship, sex worship, whatever they do. Yeah, they do it during these times. I think the coronation of Prince Charles was on an Aries day, I think. I'll have to look back into that. But Aries goes from April 19th to May. I might have to look on my phone. Sorry, Gail. Because it's not telling me the constellation on this app. So I want to be accurate. So the first day of Taurus is May 14th. So the last day of Aries, May 13th. There's your 13 again. So Taurus, if you're born from May 14th to June 20th, you're a Taurus. If you're born June 21st, the summer solstice, which they always say is in Cancer, and they write all these big posts and blogs and articles about Cancer and how your emotions, and it's really right here. We're on the mutable cross. So when it's the summer solstice, the winter solstice, it's on the mutable. That's another way to kind of see the crosses, you know. Eventually it's going to be on the fixed cross. Eventually the sun will be in Taurus on the summer solstice, because we're on the fixed. It's a fixed sign. Well, that's where it's going to be. It's moving. So Gemini goes until July 19th.
So that's June 21st to July 19th?
Yes. Cancer would be the next constellation. Cardinal water. It's a shorty. It's a little one. All the cardinal signs are short, gladly, because they're really intense. But
well, I'm going to have to tell you, if we're going to want to keep them to be able to show again, we're going to have to cut off here pretty soon, I'm afraid. 1, 2,
okay.
3, 4, 5. Well, we didn't get what's the Cancer dates real quick?
So it goes until August 9th. August 9th is the last day of Cancer per stellarium. And the first day of Leo would be August 10th. That's Joe Rogan's birthday. So I kind of look at him, I'm like, or he might be the 10th or 11th, but I'm like, yeah, he's a fire sign. He's masculine, you know, but he's still kind of like emotional over here. So, but he's a little bit more Leo, you know. It's fun to look at all these people with the new
Yeah, especially with the.
So Leo goes until September 15th. First day of Virgo, September 16th. And that goes all the way until Halloween, right? So it's going to be October 30th will be the last day of Virgo. So there's tons of Virgos. They think they're either Libras or Scorpios. Libra is so short that the sun could have still been, you know, back here. And they're saying it's up here, if that makes sense. So Libra is Halloween to November 23rd. November 23rd is the first day of Scorpio. So 11/22 is actually the last day of Libra. So first day of Scorpio, 11/23. And shit.
Well, we only got 1 or 2 left, don't we?
Yeah. They're saying first day of Sagittarius is December 17th. And so we're in that phase right now. It's January 5th. Capricorn is going to start January 19th. So we'll just go back to January 5th. And then it circles back around to Aquarius on February 16th. So, I mean, we could make a new calendar. We could make a lot of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is very interesting, Ryan. Maybe we'll do a part 3 at some point if we, you know, have enough people that are interested, because it is very interesting and people are learning as we, you know, as it goes along. So,
Yeah.
I think I'd like to be able to show this again. So in order to do that, I have to cut us off here so that it stays, because we're at 59 minutes. So we're at 1 hour now. So we have to make this a wrap, and we'll come back another time. How's that?
All right, sounds good. I hope people have some tools they can start looking into it, and you know, type in your own dates and locations, and we'll just keep going with it
and see what you get. Okay, thank you so much. That's been very interesting and good to know.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think we'll get more and more information about this as time goes on. So again, thank you listening audience. Please share, like, subscribe. It helps the algorithms, and my channel needs help that way. So anyway, thank you, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good.
See you later.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers. Stronger than ever, never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show